Hi guys, I'm the Simming Rowlet and welcome to my second build video where I recreate my favourite houses from The Sims 3 and put them in The Sims 4. So today the house I work on is the house called Unabridged, which is from Sunset Valley, and it's one of the empty houses from the start of the game, which is a pretty cool house if you ask me, and the location is also pretty good with it being right at the beach, but sadly there is no lot that's 40 by 40 which is right next to the water, so I just put it where the Heckings live in Brindleton Bay, which turned out pretty fine. You could put it where the Delgados live, but I already had a house there, so I decided to just leave it there for the time being, but if you want, you can put it there and I think the effect would be a bit better. So we start off by just building the basic shape of the house. It doesn't take too long, but you know how there's that little staircase up to like the roof area above the bridge? That took a bit of time to get right, so when we get up to it I think I'll just skip it because it was a bit glitchy, and when I tried to place the floor and like fences down, it kind of like removed the entire roof, so like the bottom floor's lighting was as if it was outdoors, and that's kind of bad, so I ended up having to redo it a few times until I finally got it to the point it doesn't actually do that anymore, so I'll just skip over that, since it does take a good 10 minutes or so. So we're just working on that bridge area. Sadly, there was no way to actually make it so that you could build some kind of bridge over a water. So the front did become a fountain, but the back area, the pool in the back area did actually stay a pool. And I think it looks okay. Like, it's not the perfect match to the original from The Sims 3, but that's just due to some of the building limitations in Sims 4. But it doesn't worry me too much because in the end I think the house turned out quite good. And I did try and work around it, so like I did put some more plants around the foundation to try and hide it. And it still has that effect of like it being a bridge because there's water on either side. Yeah, so that's where the fountain goes. I didn't put any like water features in there, so if you want you can, but I didn't. Just doing the pool in the back area now. The roof was probably the easiest part for once because from the looks of the original, it looks like all they did was place the roof and then just pull it out the back because it had like the same kind of angle, so I didn't actually need to change it. Just doing the... yeah, so that's where the bridge will go. And then the main building's roof was kind of the same deal where they just placed it and then just pulled it out. And it still looks pretty good. So once we do that, I think we start on the windows. And I do end up changing the roof a little bit once we get to it because it was clipping through it was clipping to this roof ceiling where the door is, so I do find a way to work around that. Looking for a nice door. It took me a while, but I think I just chose a Black Seasons door because to me that was the closest match. I was just testing to see if the wall height was going to make the house look any better, but it didn't, so I just made it the minimum height today. I was sad that sliding door looking dine out glass door wasn't actually the same height as the wall because that was probably going to be the best option, but I just had to choose the base game door because that was the same height as all the windows. I was trying to find a good small window for this area, but I was trying to find like a glass pane one like the ones I ended up picking, but a version that wasn't touching each other from the frames, but there was none of those windows, so I just had to pick those ones. But it still had a similar effect in the end, which is fine. The windows. And again, I didn't use the 3 unit wide windows because they've got a weird texture glitch to them when you change the swatch, so I didn't use them in the end. But it looks fine to me. That's where the kitchen will be. Yeah, so basically all the rooms stayed the same, but the furniture in them didn't. Except for the bathrooms, because I like the style of the bathrooms, so I kind of just kept the theme, but I probably added some more decorations than the original, obviously, but it had like the same color scheme, and like the placement of the main bathroom furniture is in the same place. Trying to find a nice staircase for all the stairs in the house. And also I'm trying like disguise the foundation by just making it black in the areas where in the original it was kind of like overhanging instead of the foundations being directly underneath the outer edges of the floor. And it kind of had a nice effect. I'm a bit sad that we were limited in regards to the foundation placement and where you can place floors, and the fact you can't place them above pools and stuff, but that's fine. Work with what we have and it turned out okay. I'm trying to find a nice rocky foundation, but there weren't many options, but I think the outdoor living ones were quite good. Or outdoor retreat ones were pretty good. And I just delete all the walls because they were only there to help me place the foundations where I wanted them to. Oops. And then once we do that, I think I start on the roof area where the staircase goes up to the place above the bridge, but I think I'll just skip over that once you just see the general shape of the staircase, since it does take me a while, since it does glitch out a bit. I think we place the doors first, so we will wait a bit longer. Yeah, so here's where the stairs come in. I'll just wait to show you guys how it was glitching out because it was kind of strange. So I built the fenced off area, and then when I deleted the ceiling after I did that, it kind of like changed the lighting in the house to be outdoors. So right now it's fine, but then like when I start actually placing the fences down, it glitches out. And it was a bit strange how the roof could be seen from inside, so you'd think that you'd only be able to see the main roof, but you can also see the little bits of the roof that's pointing out of the house, which is a bit weird. I'm not sure what I was trying to do. I think I was just trying to place the floors down because I was trying to separate off the ceiling so that in order to work around the fact that you could see the roofs that are perpendicular to the main roof. And I'm also trying to reduce the weird lighting glitch that you can see from the floor, but I ended up just fixing that quickly. I just ended up placing half walls because it made it less obvious that there was... made it look like a wall instead of a weird fence, kind of. I mean, a weird like half wall that the roofs make when you... at the end of the roofs rather. Yeah, so that's when the floors, the bottom level became the weird outdoor lighting, so I'll just skip over that now. Anyway, everything's done now, so, well, the house shape is done now. So we move on to the kitchen as always to begin with. I noticed that I always use these parenthood counters because I just find that the swatches they have are really awesome, and the style is the kind of style that I was looking for in this house as well. Because this house, it's meant to be right next to the ocean, so I choose some really light colors, and I put lots of little blues here and there, like pops of blue and pops of color. And one of the bedrooms especially is really colorful, because I just thought, I don't often have really colorful bedrooms, so I thought I'd just make one, because it would just be interesting. And it turned out pretty good, I think. It would make a good like teen bedroom, so that's why I put a bit of like teen related stuff in there. Also, I did have to like clip the countertop into the fridge a little bit just so it would line up properly. I don't think it's that noticeable, so I left it there. Working with the dining table. I think I keep the table, but I make it into a light wooden color, like a birch kind of color, which turned out fine. For some reason I was trying to go for black to begin with, which was a bit strange. But we move on to the lounge room before I make any changes. The lounge room is quite big and there is a lot of seating as well, so your Sims will be able to sit around a large group of people and chat. Even though, to begin with, it was going to look like... Well, that's how the original had the seats laid out, but I did like completely redo it so that everyone sitting at the lounge area will be able to see the TV. Because it would be a bit weird if the people watching TV and then some people were just facing away from it, just talking to you. It'd feel like they're missing out on half of it. But for the time being, I think I do just keep it like that. At the end, when I start like refining every room, that's when I change it. And once again, I have to put a column down just to hide the fact that the stairs have walls which are a bit less wide than the normal walls, so I had to break up the section where they connect so that it looks a bit better. And it looks fine in the end, so that's fine. And once we finish off these areas, I think we move on to the corridor area where the little study area is and all the doors towards the different rooms are, which is across the bridge in a moment. Yep, so we're moving on now. I do pick this regular desk to begin with, but I end up choosing that glass desk that has lots of light wooden tones to it as well. I'm not sure why, but I just always seem to use that desk in all the houses I build. Cause it almost fits with every house. Except for maybe like an old Victorian style house or something like that, where I don't think it would fit. Also, I try something different and have the bed a bit further out from the wall because this is a big room, so that to try and just make use of more space and make it feel a bit less cramped, I put the bed out a little bit so the room actually feels a bit more cozy like that. To me at least, like it's a bit weird to have everything just touching the wall when it doesn't have to, because it's a big room, so I just have a small space behind the bed just to make the room feel a bit more cozy. There is a nice sitting spot for your sim to sit and read. And I do use one of my favorite my favorite coffee tables just to put your book or something. Which is the glass one, yep. And there was, if you didn't see it earlier, there is a space on the bedroom deck where you could sit as well. Just this one little chair out there. Which, if the house was in its original location, you'd be able to overlook the beautiful ocean of Sunset Valley. But here, you can just look at the beautiful forests of Brindleton Bay. Which I think is still pretty good if you ask me. And I think I just choose one of the Seasons paintings, yeah. Just to like contrast the fact that this house would be at the ocean, I did pick some kind of like desert Mesa kind of painting from Seasons, which I think looked pretty interesting to just contrast with the ocean. But it still had the similar color schemes of like the yellowy sand and the blue oceans. But in the Mesa painting, it's like the yellowy rocks and dirt and the blue skies. And we move on to the second bedroom. I wouldn't call this a guest bedroom, but it's like a second bedroom that originally was going to have some kind of really dark wooden theme, but I end up changing it up and putting lots of purple in it. So it'd make like a good teen room. And there is a purple keyboard in it as well, so once again, the sim living in this room might like playing keyboard. But you could easily swap it out for like a painting, easel, or like a chess table or something simple. I do lighten up the room in the end I'm still trying to like decide a color, but I think this is when I decide to do purple and then like everything becomes purple. Yeah. I was gonna use that green lamp, but it was a bit too old style for this type of room I was gonna make. I was gonna put a yoga mat, but I decided not to, kind of in a weird spot, so I put a keyboard instead. Even a purple computer. Yes, I think the person living in this room would be like a teenage girl or something. Because I did put like makeup and stuff down, but you could just change it or something like that. Just decorating still. And after this, we move on to the bathrooms. The bathrooms are actually quite nice. I like how generous the sizes were in the original so that I had lots of space to work with when I recreated it. And for the mat here, I just picked like a nice light purpley pink kind of floor mat. And I ended up discovering some of the carpets I've never seen before, because like I don't usually look at every single swatch for some of the mats I never use, so I end up never seeing what kind of swatches they have. So now moving on to the bathrooms rather. So the main bathroom has kind of this really dark black and white theme to it, so I decided to keep that and use some of these nice black and white countertops and a nice big mirror. When I placed the bath shower thing, when I finished recording, I did make a few edits and I did make the bath black. Well, the outside of the bath is black, the inside's still white, just to make it a bit less contrast. Just to make it contrast a bit less, because it's kind of a bit too much to have the entire bath area just white. And if you notice, I did put the floor mat underneath the toilet, but that's because the toilet is a wall mounted one and the carpet would actually be able to fit under there. Like, to me anyway, like if it was a regular toilet I probably wouldn't have put it there, but it's a modern toilet that's wall mounted. I think it's fine. And we're keeping with that blue ensuite theme, but I did finish that up really quickly because there wasn't that much to do. But I do go back there in the end to just decorate it a bit more, because I don't even think I put like a toilet paper there, which is a bit strange. I usually always put toilet paper and other decorations down in the bathroom. Once again, I've used the nice Seasons accent table for the entrance. I don't know why, I just really love it, because there's almost nothing like it in the Sims 4 apart from nothing like it in the Sims 4, so it's just so unique and I love using it. I think I use it in the kitchen as well, but it's a different swatch. And I sized it down a little bit, I think. It's just so awesome, like all the Seasons items are just so good. I find an object that I've never used before, so I throw it in. And there was a nice blue swatch for it as well, so I had to use it. And I do try and like create the illusion that there is a plant sitting up there by picking the wall mounted one, which I think is really good looking. Plants, as always, too many plants. Yeah, so I think we're just decorating now, but once we do a bit of decoration we finish off the entrance as well. Yeah, so I think I just spend a bit of time on decorations, and then we move outside, which is quite exciting because the outdoor area has some nice relaxation chairs, barbecue area, a bar, and even like an outdoor space where you could sit and just look over into the ocean if it was there. And there is also a little stereo out there to like dance or something as well if you want. A fruit bowl. A kitchen isn't complete without a fruit bowl. Yeah, so that's where the second Seasons unit table comes in. I kind of like the location actually. I picked the cats and dogs stools And I did try to be creative with the flooring mats underneath the dining table by using the two styles of round mats that Seasons Laundry Day give you, which looks nice in the end. Just some decorations, umbrella stand. It's weird how the umbrella stand is in the decorations category, but like you can interact with it and it's like kind of important to survive in the rain. So you can actually collect an umbrella. Messing around with the decorations. In the end, I don't think I put anything there, but I just mess around with all these different sculptures because in the original there was actually like a box and then like a little sculpture on the box. So I try and like experiment, see what there is I could do, but I think I just delete everything in the end because it wasn't going to work. I don't even think I keep that either. I try like do something new with those little things I'm moving around right now by putting them next to the staircase to try and create like an interesting wall on the either side of the staircase, but it kind of looks a bit strange, so I delete it. Like I feel like it would work if only one side was visible and then the other side was just up against a regular wall, but this one was a bit hard to use in this stage. Oh yeah, I just put a random folding wall or barrier, which turned out okay. More plants down. More plants. And I don't forget to do the lighting, just so you know, because I think I haven't even placed like any lights apart from like the bedside light, so I do them in the end, don't worry. I usually do them while I'm making the house, but this time I just do it all at the end. And I think for the most part I just pick all the paper lanterns, once again, because it's just one of my favourite lights. Yeah, so decorating the bathrooms, putting some furniture and plants down. And I really like the paintings for that specific room, it just fits the room perfectly. Some more floor mats or rugs. Let's just call them rugs. I was going to try and put something on the shelf, but I did size it down so the locations of the items were a bit off. And putting some nice colourful curtains in the teen's bedroom. And a stereo. And plants. And makeup as well. But I think the person who would be living here is kind of like almost a teen that's like maybe in their probably be like 17 or 18, because it's kind of like really, it's kind of like there's no really childish like none of those like teen like wall posters or anything like that. It's kind of like a more, it's got like a funky color scheme, but like it's not super like childish or something. I don't know how to explain it, but like it's kind of really matured, except that it's really purple. Selecting some paintings for the corridor area. And I think I end up using that Newcrest painting once again because I really love it. I actually really like all of the city living paintings in general from that one big painting option, like all the swatches for it. And then, yeah, that's where the Newcrest one goes. And I just change those to the cats and dogs one. And this is where I work on the lighting. And once we do the lighting, we go outside and quickly finish out up there, and then I think we finish off after we do the outdoor area and all the plants as well. The plants probably take a while, but it is sped up, so it won't take that long for you guys. Yeah, the lighting in the lounge area was a bit difficult because there is actually no ceiling directly above it, and it's actually the roof, so I do have to use wall-mounted lights and some self-standing lights and some lamps as well. This is where I mess with the seating. I do try and use like a mixture of different chairs because I think it kind of looks nice. And it would be great for like parties and stuff. This place is, I think the original intention of this house in the original was to be great for parties, because it was like a medium-sized house, but there was so many like places for Sims to be. So, and there was like a big table, there was like a bar outside, 4 relaxation chairs outside. So like this house was made for parties. So if your Sims love to party, I think this house would be like a great start for them, because there's so much space, especially outside. Like you could probably put a table outside in place of like one of the pieces of furniture I've placed, and like there'd be like, you can just increase the seating so much just from the outside area itself. And you can probably put like a campfire out in the grass area. Like there's so many places you can like put new, because there's a bit of unused lot space around the edges, so you can like easily put like some pieces of furniture that you could even like extend the pool or something like that and make it a lot bigger, even though it's quite big to begin with, and it does make up a lot of the house's overall cost because it's so large. There's this really awesome little relaxation space. You can sit down in the shade of the umbrella and then just enjoy the oceanic breeze, even though it's not actually at the ocean right now. But you can move it there. And I think this house is actually small enough that you could just place it on a 30 by 40 lot or something and get away with it, because I think like 10 units, there's 10 units free on either side of the house, so you can shrink the lot down and it should be okay. I haven't actually tested it out, but it should be fine if you ask me. And there's that little bar seating space that you can sit and overlook the ocean, and pool as well. I was going to try and mess with the dance floor, but it just popped out too much, so if you want to dance, you'll just have to click on the stereo. And then once we finish up the barbecue area, we start with the plants, which doesn't take too long because I just place plants like non-stop everywhere around the entire house. Not really in any specific layout, except for the hedges. I do like line the hedges on the sides of the house just to make it easier to hide, and then refine the other sides of the house by just placing some ferns and bushes. And I do try and make it a bit more dynamic instead of just having this one single line. Some lavender down, some floor plants, ferns, and more lavender. I really like the lavender in the game because it takes up so much space. And I'm trying to cover up all the hidden areas that I want to hide. And then once we do that, we just work on the terrain paints real quickly. So this is meant to be at the beach, so I did try and mimic the little sand patches the house lot had in the original, and just put some palm trees in the back like the original as well. So although this house at the moment isn't at the ocean, I made it as if it was at the ocean, so you can put it there and it will fit in quite nicely, I think. So once we finish off the outer edges, I think we finish. But that would be after I quickly place the palm trees as well. And for the front of the house, I can afford to do the terrain paints right up to the edge because it just leads straight onto a road, so you don't actually get to see the seam of the terrain paint at the edge of the lot. Anyway, I think this is the last thing we do, so once we just finish off the sand, I think we're done, and I'll just move on to the screenshots. Cool, I think we're done. Anyway, once we just zoom out here, I'll move on to the screenshots. If you'd like to download this build for yourself, just look for me on the Sims gallery under the Rowlet. The house name will remain unchanged and will be called Unabridged. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!